All right, welcome back. This is part 16 of the character modeling tutorial series. Last video we corrected the anatomy of the head and added a couple of the edge loops, made it look more like our finalized head form that we're looking for. This video we're going to talk about how to clean up the head, soften hardened edges, connect it to the body, and clean up our entire scene here. So we have some good softened edges already, but there's some like the ear that we need to go back and correct. So the easily softened edges, if you select it in object mode, go to mesh display, I just soften all of the edges first. So let's do soften edge. This softens everything, and then the smaller edges that we need to harden, like on the inner edge loops of the eye, like this edge loop here. See that shading issue that's going on? So we need to correct that. Let's do mesh display harden edge. That corrects that that issue that we saw there. Probably on the inside connection of the mouth, that would be another good one because there is a little bit of a shading issue there. We could do two things. We could come in here and do mesh display harden edge, but when the mouth open, you'll see that hard seam. So what would actually be better here is if we just bevel that edge, and we'll do 0.8 bevel on there. Let's get in close so we can see. Now we need to do a little bit more. 1 bevel, 0.8, so 0.8 bevel there. What we might can try to do is with the small brush, with the sculpt tool smooth brush. Well, this is the smooth tool small brush. Let's do relax instead. So let's relax. And that will kind of even out those loops a little more. There you go. See if we can zoom out a little bit. Be hard because we're kind of inside the mouth now. Those are pretty good. Let's look up. Let's see if we can get in the mouth. Try to soften these as much as possible or smooth these over much as possible there. There we go. So with the inside of the lips, that's probably going to be better than to harden soften edges there. The inside of the eyelids is not too big of a deal. I'm just going to come here and kind of adjust some of the line work that I have here as I'm talking to kind of clean up what the lips are doing in this area. So this video is just going to kind of clean up some of the hard and softened edges. Let's see what's going on here. So there's a little bit of an issue there. I might need to go in and take those edges and do soften. There you go. That corrects that problem there. Got a couple more on these corners right here. So let's do soften edge. Put it back in object mode until it looks like that looks pretty good. The nostrils is pretty good. That's not too big of a deal, but mainly the inside of the ears and the eyes or ears we need to go back and soften up as we need to. Alright, so I don't need these image planes, so I'm going to delete those out at this point. Always good to save before you make bigger changes. Save an iteration as well, so each time I've made a bigger change, I've saved it as model 5, 6, and now I'll choose model 7. Alright, so let's delete those image planes. I don't need that anymore. I've got my eye shapes how I want them to. Here's a transform group, so let's take that head model and do edit, delete by type history. Okay, that gets rid of any extra head groups. There's a blank one still sitting there, so let's remove that one. I have a couple other image planes in my scene. I don't need those anymore. Here's my body. So let's turn my body back on. And my stand-in head I no longer need. So let's go into regular face mode, not vertex face. And select my faces on top of the head. I'm going to hit shift period to grow the selection. Down to the neck area. I don't know, let's just stop there. That'll be a good stopping point. And we're just going to delete those out. Okay. Now on my final head, I have the bottom faces that I don't need anymore. So I'm going to go in here and see if I can just select those bottom faces. There you go. Delete those out. Alright, so now from object mode with the head, let's just see if we can move this back. Let's try to grab our eyes as well, so we have to do less kind of motion with that. Let's move this up some. My neck is a little thin, so I'm probably gonna have to adjust my eyes in a minute, but I want to make sure my head's the size of my body. Pretty close. That's a pretty good start. All right, so I'll need to make my adjustments for the eyes. Usually what I'll do is just delete one. I'll come in here and move the eye back in place. That needs to be, move it up a little. Here we go. Center that some and then duplicate that back over to the other side. Okay. Left eye, and then we'll call this one right eye. So it's also good to just rename as you go. All right, so I got my body. Actually, my head's kind of too big now. Look at that. So let's do the opposite. Let's go back and scale this down together. So I can also hit Control G to group. That creates a new group with the eyes and the head. And we'll do center pivot. With this group, we can scale all together at the same time. So we just need to make sure we don't have the head too big here. Okay, we'll try that. All right, I'd say that's pretty good. We're gonna want to make the neck bigger because a little bit more of a muscular character here. All right, so we don't need this group anymore. We can take those three objects and drag them out of the group with holding down middle mouse click. Now I don't need that group. We need to combine the head to the torso. Before I do that, I'm gonna try to select that edge loop at the bottom of the neck. Rotate it and move it up. It'll be a lot easier for me to target weld those form together if it's kind of out of the way. Select the head and the body. We'll go to the modeling toolkit and choose combine. So probably the easiest way is just to take our target weld. Let's go into vertex mode and target weld and see how much we can line up. So we'll do the front vertex. And I'm going to target weld the head down to the body. The back vertex. That's a pretty good connection there. We can focus on one side of the body and then come back and mirror the entire body over later. So let's see, roughly the middle of the head is this one to that one, so that's pretty good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 3 edges here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 to 3. So I'm really gonna have to do one downgrade. So we'll see what we can do here. So pull that one into this one. So then we're gonna have to find a way to kind of connect this up. And probably the easiest way to do this is to drag from this vertex over to this one, and then we'll try to create a loop somewhere down here, perhaps in the shoulder blades, that it'll kind of hide that extra loop that we'll need to connect it. So what we're gonna do is let's go take this edge and delete that one out, and let's bring that multi-cut down. If I hold down shift, that will create the next multi-cut in the center between those edges. All right, so this is beginning to be shoulder blade area. Let's see what we can do if we can just tailor that one to the corner there. And then to get rid of those triangles, there's going to be one on the opposite side. This could be a good time to go ahead and mirror the body over, or the entire body. So let's go to face mode, and from the front view, let's turn off symmetry. Symmetry is not working properly on the head. Let's select all those faces for that side. Pretty good. Let's delete those. Then we just got to go in and kill off the last little ones in the center of the head there. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and do edit, delete by type history. Get rid of those. This is going to be our body now. And let's see what happens if we try to do our mirror tool now. Mesh mirror. All right, good. So it is working for us how we expect it to. Make sure all the way down to the bottom it's mirroring everything that we want, not mirroring what we don't want. All right, good. Okay, so what that did was that created, we had one more edge loop than what we had for the body. We didn't have to do too much subdivision. But now with the multi-cut, I can come down here with the shoulder blade area and have a triangle on this side and a triangle on that side. So as long as you have two triangles, you can take the center of that triangle and connect it up to the middle. Let's actually make sure we have symmetry on. There we go. Center of this triangle, and then we'll hold down Shift and click it on the center between this edge and put it to the center of the body. Okay, so what that will do is create quads in that area. So that makes it a fully quad-based geometry again. Now if I put it back in object mode, we can see that seam, so we may not want that seam if we want it to be skin or whatnot. So what we can do is take our edges, select that edge loop, do mesh display soften. That seam is gone. And then now all we need to do is just kind of fine tune the geometry. Let's go find it from a side view. Make the neck a little bit more bulkier in this area. Maybe the whole neck is a little bit thicker. We'll just add a little more. Let's look at it from the front view. We might need to come take these and pull them out a little more. Here we go. This one can kind of move back this way. This one can move back this way. We can also get our relax tool again. There you go. Find where my brush is. My brush is really small, so we'll scale it up. And try to even out some of these forms again. So there you go. Go down to the shoulder blade area. Even out some of those a little more. Even out those again. Looking pretty good. My neck of the character might be too tall. So what I can do from the side view is select like all of my head. Maybe not these. Here we go. Let's turn soft select on so we'll blend down. So let's do like 10, 15, 12. There you go. And just move this down a little bit. Okay, until it starts to look a little bit more natural. That's pretty good actually. We need to move the eyes down. Okay, maybe move them back a little. There we go, that looks pretty good. Alright, so now we can do some fine-tune sculpting or whatever we might need to do. Maybe we'll try to blend out some more muscles from that neck again. Try to increase my, too much strength here. So we do want too much going on there. We'll come back and correct some of this later, but so we can also get like that relax tool again. Can relax some of these forms back again. I think I got like an extra floating vertex in here. Yeah, there we go. So we can select that one, delete it. We're good. Now back with the relax tool. We can blend that back a little more. There you go. Alright, so make sure we delete the history to finalize our model, make sure all our objects are named, and that's how we can block out an entire human body.